Erin Gravel, Women's Life Coach. It is so nice to have you joining me today. On today's live, I want to talk a little bit about the power of saying no and why saying no is so incredibly important to us as women in our lives. So, thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments or in the chat, and I'm happy to address the questions as well. So, no is a word that when I was growing up, I was told basically that I should not be saying no to people. It wasn't kind, it wasn't caring. It was a situation where you always were supposed to put other people's needs before your own. And I actually wrote a blog post about this on my website, wholelifeliving.com, that talks about how, as women, we're raised to take care of other people and to put their needs before our own. And what that means for some of us women is that when we are asked to do something, we automatically say yes rather than giving it some thought and saying no in places where we should say no. Hi there, Tracy. Good to see you. Hi, Joan. Nice to see you too. I'm glad you could join us today. And so it's really interesting because when I was growing up, I was taught the golden rule to treat other people the way that you want to be treated. And what I found out as I got older is that other people don't always want to be treated the same way I want to be treated. So things that I take as caring or showing love, other people may not need those same things that I need. And what I realized is that I was saying yes to a lot of things that I really did not enjoy doing. And it wasn't bad things, it was just things that really didn't meet my needs as far as how I wanted to spend my time. And the more I agreed to doing things that didn't feel right to me or didn't fill me with joy or love or energy, the more I started doubting myself and what I wanted. And so it's really interesting that when you start doubting yourself and doing what everyone else wants you to do, it's hard to know what you actually want to do. And so, what I found, oh, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for joining me. What I found is that when I said yes to things I really didn't want to do, or that I didn't even halfway want to do, I didn't know what I actually wanted anymore. And it's so important that we know what we want and that we spend our time and our energy on things that bring us joy and that we want to do. And I thought, well, if I do those things, then that's selfish because I'm putting myself first. And this is something I hear from my clients a lot is that putting themselves first, self-care, saying no to something like a social gathering when you just want to stay home and rest because you're tired and you just need to recharge your batteries. A lot of people can't do that because they feel so guilty and feel like they have to say yes. They don't want to offend somebody. And the thing is, there's a reason why we have certain needs in our lives and why we feel certain ways. And so when you're feeling a certain way, it's important you listen to that and do what you feel is best. Say no to the invitation to a dinner party if you don't want to go. Say no to a colleague that gives you another project that you really just don't want to do if it's not going to jeopardize your job, of course. But really start thinking about how do I want to spend my time and where are my priorities? Because when you say yes to something, you're saying no to a bunch of other things. And so if you're saying yes to things that really aren't serving you and aren't aligned with what you want from your life and how you want to spend your time and your energy, you're going to be saying yes to things that really aren't going to fill your life and you're going to be miserable. And no one wants you showing up not wanting to be there miserable. That's the thing. I've been to so many different things in my life where I would show up, I didn't want to be there. I forced myself to go, and I did have an okay time. But I know that whoever was organizing it, if they really knew how much I really didn't want to be doing that or to be there, they probably wouldn't have wanted me to come. When you show up, when you do things for people, with people, at work, friends, family, when you're doing it because you want to do it and not out of a sense of obligation, people can tell and they really do feel more connected to you. They enjoy being around you more because they know you want to be there. You're not doing it out of a sense of obligation. And so then the next question is, well, how do I say no? So, okay, I know I have something coming up, or I know that there's always this person in my life that asks me for things and I don't know how to say no to them graciously. There's so many great ways that you can say no without offending somebody. And so just a couple of examples of that are you could say, "Oh, well, let me check my calendar and get back to you." So if you're like me and you're one of those people that automatically like yes comes to your mind because I've spent my whole life saying yes to people and not putting myself first, saying pausing and saying, "Let me check my calendar and get back to you," gives you the time and space to think about your answer and to think about if what you're going to say yes to is really what you want to do. So again, just saying, let me check my calendar and get back to you. Let me ask so and so and get back to you. The kids might have something going on. There's a lot of different ways that you can put some space between what's being asked of you and you actually saying yes or no to it. Another thing is you can just say, no, thank you. And I love this quote. It says, "No is a complete sentence." I'm still working on that, but I do have several friends and colleagues too that say no. And it's not rude. It's very kind the way they say it, but that's it. They don't even have to give an explanation. And again, I'm still working on this myself. I usually feel the need to give an explanation. But if you feel comfortable just saying, no, that doesn't work for me, or no, no, thank you, maybe next time, great. So I hope that you will think about where you're spending your time and how important saying no to others is to your life. And when you say no to things that really don't serve you, you're actually saying yes to yourself. It sounds kind of corny, I know, but in order to say yes to yourself, you do have to say no to others. And the wonderful thing is, the more you say no, the more you create space in your life for yourself and for the things that truly matter to you and that you truly want in your life, whether it's relationships, friendships, family, all those things. So it really gives you the space to just be who you are and think about what you really want and really truly need to be happy in your life. So I know there's a few people here. I'm wondering if anyone here would like to say what they have trouble saying no to or how you say no to things graciously. So I'll just give you a couple of seconds if you don't mind putting in the chat either something you have a hard time saying no to or how you graciously say no to things. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes. Okay, so Tracy said, yes, so important creating that space that serves you, your children and partner. Yes, and Tracy, you, from what I've observed, you are so good at doing this. You're really good at prioritizing and being kind to people, but at the same time, drawing a boundary and saying no when you need to. Tracy, do you have a way where you say no? Like, do you have kind of something that you use when someone asks you to do something and you just know it works well for you? Or anyone else that's joining us?